Good morning, ma. Welcome to all for online education. Commerce theory part for the second year's English medium. The chapter that we are dealing with, that is the international trade. So this is the third session of the chapter. Here we have the advantages of economic processing zones. So the first advantage is here, economic processing zones have given a major boost to the economical growth and industrialization of the country. So these economic export processing zones are given boosting to the economical development of the country and also for the industrialization of the industrial units. Why? Because the industries are very much actually participated in these zones, because the government is providing certain incentives to the industrial units which are exporting the goods from the India to other host countries. The government is providing certain benefits. So the export processing zones are specialized areas in the countries where quotas and tariffs are eliminated. So to these areas, to these zones, the quotas and tariffs are generally eliminated. There is no any kind of taxes as compared with the other zones. Export processing zones are the production centers where large number of workers is employed. So it is a production center where large number of employees or large number of workers are employed. It provides employment opportunities for the eligible persons. The export processing zone units involved the export or import of raw material and the export of finished goods. So they will import the raw material and they will export the finished good. Here the finished goods means the final product. Okay, finished good means here the final product is exported to the foreign countries or to the host countries by the home country. 100% foreign direct investment. So the companies, the industrial units which are started in these areas, they are getting 100% foreign direct investment, because the government is allowing the foreign investment also in the manufacturing activities. So the foreign investors can also participate in the manufacturing activities in these export processing zones. They can also invest here. So they are also participating. Foreign companies are also participating. When the foreign companies are participating in these zones, then they will bring the foreign capital. In that way, we can get 100% foreign direct investment. Next, various incentives. Incentives means motivations. The government will give certain types of motivations such as income tax holidays, or introducing and exemptions are provided in respect of VAT, import duty and other taxes. So in this case, the government is giving them special types of benefits which are not given to other areas. In other zones, these types of benefits are generally absent, where we see these types of benefits in the export processing zones. Now let us see the procedure and formalities of export trade, which is the most important question maybe asked in the examination. So first thing, the procedure start from the inquiries and quotations. What is inquiries and what is quotations? Inquiries are those things which is sent by the foreign buyer to the Indian exporter or any country exporter about the order. So an inquiry is a written request from him seeking information regarding the price and other services. So he want to know the price of the goods and he want to know the services what they are going to give to him, to the foreign buyer, what the exporter is going to give the service and what kind of prices are there. In order to know that information, the foreign buyer, he will send an written request that is known as inquiry. Quotation means here that is the reply given by the exporter to the foreign buyer. That information contains price, time, method of delivery, method of packing. Okay, the quotations will contain, it is just a reply to the importer, means the foreign buyer. The exporter is giving reply to the foreign buyer, okay, regarding the price, regarding the time, method of delivery, method of packing and other information. Order or indents. So if the buyer is satisfied with the regard to the details supplied in the quotation, he will place an order. If the buyer is satisfied with the information which is sent in the quotation, he will place the order regarding the product, how much product he required and what price, quantity, what quality of products he required. Those things he will send by placing an order. So an order is an offer made by a foreign buyer to buy the goods. So it is order means he is placing a offer. He is giving an offer in order to, is an offer made by the foreign buyer in order to buy the goods. The order contains the details in respect of goods. So it contains the details regarding the goods and also as well as various other instructions what the importer should have to be followed while delivering the goods. Okay. So those things are contained in the order. Next is securing the license. See, license is required for certain types of goods. So export of goods from India is controlled under the Import and Export Control Act. So export of the goods is totally under the control of Import and Export Control Act. So goods controlled can't be exported without the export license. So the goods which are under the control of these act can't be exported outside the country without the export license. Okay, but there are certain goods which are free from these type of license. Those goods are generally known as open general license goods. So there is certain list of goods that are free from these type of license formalities. So the other goods which are very short in our country, for that purpose we required license. So license is generally granted in order to control the goods. Without permission, the goods can't be go outside the country. So certain goods are required export license and certain goods are freely exported that does not require any kind of licenses. This is a common feature of securing the license. Yes, next we have the along with the export license, a quota permit should also be obtained by the exporter in case of commodities which are a short supply. So along with the license features, we have seen the features of the license, why it is required. So along with the license, it will become mandatory sometimes. The quota permit is also required certain times, because when the goods are very short in the country and even though the industries want to export those goods, at that time the quota permit is required for those short supply. Fulfilling exchange regulations. So there are certain formalities which have to be fulfilled during the exchange. So under the Foreign Exchange Regulation Act, the exporter has to submit a declaration that he will surrender the foreign exchange to the extent of the full export value of the goods to RBI within the prescribed limit. What it means when the importer will take the goods, he will give the currency he will send the money in the form of their own country currency. So when the exporter will receive that currency, immediately he will give to the RBI in order to convert that foreign currency into Indian currency, because the RBI is not going to give permission to anyone to have the RBI not going to give permission to any person in the country to use the foreign currency in the day-to-day activities, because our country currency is a Indian currency, so we can't use the foreign currency. So at that time the exporter should have to hand over it to the RBI immediately, the value of the goods within that prescribed limit. The RBI will convert it into Indian currency and give it to the exporter. Letter of credit. See, letter of credit is generally given by the importer to the exporter, say showing his credit worthiness. Okay, what his credit worthiness? Generally, this letter of credit is issued by the importer's bank to the importer. showing the credit worthiness of the importer, how much finance, how much money is there in his account, whatever the importer is importing, regarding that whether the importer has the account in the bank or not. If he has the account, and what will be his balance is also be shown by the it also be shown by the importer's bank, so that it will show completely the credit worthiness of the importer. Next one, shipping order. If the exporter is satisfied with the credit worthiness of the importer, then he or she, exporter will make an agreement with the shipping company in order to get the place in the ship, in order to export those goods to the importer, to the place of the importer's port area where he want those goods. To that place there will import the goods according to the importer's choice. Exchange rate, the rate at which the currency is exchanged. One country currency is exchanged for other country currency. See, importer's currency is importer's currency will be in some other way, and exporter country currency is in some other way. So when they are exchanging these currencies, there will be certain rate for the exchange of these currencies. That rate is known as exchange rate. The exchange rate, this is very most important question. Generally 2 marks question is asked for the exchange rate, and it is asked in letter of credit. So for 2 marks, the letter of credit and exchange rate will be asked in examinations. So exchange rate is nothing. It is a rate at which the currency of one country and the currency of another country is exchanged. That rate is known as exchange rate. So these are some of the formalities and procedures of the export trade. The remaining we will discuss in the next session.